Hello and welcome to the first episode of Pen Rambling, which I hope this will continue as I start this first episode. So, before I start, I want to put it out that I'm not an English native speaker. I'm Agnes, I'm from Malaysia, so it is a country of multi-language, means that I might put some other language when I'm speaking in this video. I may, or in a future video. So if you hear that it is not English, it's probably the language that I'm used to. So for this first episode, as you can see from the title, Hiya Fountain Pen. If you see in front of you, there are 4 types of pen and they are all in the blue color family. So this one will be the mechanical pencil, the gel pen, this is the fountain pen, and then a ballpoint. So I'm going to be more on the fountain pen side of the rambling pen, although maybe I'll try to put other types of writing instrument in this video. So my first one is Hiya Fountain Pen. Now if you have been into my channel, you may find I have another video which is writing ASMR. Maybe I'll link it somewhere. Alright, so it is a fountain pen writing therapy. So my first so when I'm explaining why, I will go first for the thing that is good, and then we'll go to the part where that is not a very good thing if you have a fountain pen. Right, so the first thing is it is fun. It is another writing material that it is fun. And how do I say that it's fun? Because it is not like the others. Fun, and it will bring us to the second part, which is point number 2, which is colorful. It can be colorful in terms of like colors, variation of colors, variation of design. I have a few coming, putting it out from here. And as I said, fun just now means that I can see every part of the pen if it's a demonstrator type of fountain pen. So this is the all clear Twisby from Twisby Eco. It is a Taiwanese company, and one of the more famous line is the Eco line. So Eco is one of the you can say that it is affordable because number 1, it has a very big capacity of ink if you really need that capacity. Some of us may be okay with a capacity of a converter or cartridge, because some of us doesn't use that much that much ink in a day. So it's okay, it's no problem. But there are people who need a large capacity of ink, and they kind of like drinking the ink as they use the fountain pen. And then fountain pen comes in a lot of in a variety sorts of whatever you can think of. Number 1, the nib type. The most common one is we have steel and gold nib. So that one is a steel, and these 3, the one that you can see in front of you, are made from gold nib. So the one that I have here are all 14K karat gold nib, right? Whereas in ballpoint or gel, okay, most of the time you will able to find either it's needle point or maybe a round tip, and then the size comes from most commonly is 0.5 and 0.7. That one is the common one where most of us can find it easily in any stationery shop. I know there are a lot of design for a pen and this one, but in fountain pen alone, if you look at this tree, it is already like different in sizes and different in their own design. Okay, and then because it is colorful, some of us may buy more than one. There are people who buy just one fountain pen and they use that fountain pen for the rest of their life. So there are some people who is collector. We have all sorts of collector in this world. So they are fountain pen collector. So what I mean by collector is maybe, okay, there are people who collect the same line in different color. So I have these four. I think I put it this way is better. Okay, I have this 4 pen. Let me turn down the exposure so you are not. Alright. So I have 4 pen here and they are all from the Platinum 3776 line, and the 3776 line are made from the nib is from 14K karat gold. So I'm not a collector because, as you've seen, I have other types of other brand and this one, but I'm very liking this one. And it has the biggest 14K 14 karat gold nib compared to the Sailor and Platinum that I own, as well as I'm not sure, I think I just like it that way. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 that is in gold trim and one of them is in rhodia trim. I believe that the cord for the gold trim is 13,000 and this one is 15,000, the cord PCB or PNB. I'm not very sure. Alright, and then these two, this one I bought, let me see which one's mine. Yeah, this one, which is the same color as this, I think this is called red wine something. I have a very difficulty to pronounce the name. Right, so this one I bought second hand from a user who are going to move out to further his study. So I did see that it is not the nib size that I have for this one. This one is my very first 14 karat gold nib, which I bought when I was traveling to Taiwan from a shop that recommended back then in a forum. So I bought this one and I use it and I didn't use it, and I use it, I didn't use it because of one thing. I can't even get the nib to be smooth the way that I like it. I mean, I don't need it very smooth as some people may describe as glass smooth, but I don't want it to be like poking towards the paper, right? So these are the things. It means that I can collect fountain pen. Some people collect from the same brand only. Some people collect, I'm not a collector, but I do like a full collection of the normal size nib, which is the fine, the medium and the broad. Of course they have specialty nibs. Okay, so collection. So the next one is, because you may be starting to collect your fountain pen, you will most probably want to pass down the pen that you own to the next generation or to your family who is dear to you. Maybe you have a niece or nephew or your own sons and daughter who are starting maybe middle school, college, high school. Like us in here will be like sekolah menengah, going to matrix, going off to college, and then you might want to send them off with a memorable, like in Chinese community, pens means for study. So when you study, they give you pen. So give you pen so that you will do well in your education. Okay, a bit of rambling since this is what we call as pen rambling segment. So you'll be passing it down. Hopefully that whoever you pass it down to will take good care of it and then pass it down to another generation. So there are pen collector who does collect vintage pen. Means that the pen that may be dating back more than 50 years ago, since fountain pen is actually a very, very old type of writing material. Just it is modernized. Alright, next to that, my next point is there are properties that you can find in fountain pen that you can't even find in ballpoint gel pen. So the first one will be like inks. You have a lot of color in fountain pen ink. I mean, like colors of the rainbow, all the colors that you can find on earth. So for example, like this. So this is not a very common color that you might find. Even for common color like blue, there are a lot of blue that you can find. For example, I have here Pilot. Let me put down the exposure. Okay, so this is Pilot Kujaku from the Iroshizuku line. So it is a type of blue, and some may call it a teal. I'm not sure. For me, it's blue. Even in this blue, there are other company that comes out with a different blue. For example, blue black. So blue black will be like in between blue and black, which is this type of color. Is neither blue or it is black, so they call it blue black. And even within the red color, which I don't have many of, there are variables of red. So that's what I call as a different property that you find in blue pen. I can own one pen, that's it, and I can own many ink in order for me to make it colorful, in order to make it properties that ballpoint pen doesn't have. Although I know that Pilot does have pen that you can change the ink, what do you call that thing? The ink tubing for every pen. But I don't want to go out and stock up on that. Maybe. Alright. And I can use this body of a pen with different type of ink. And there are people who mix ink from different color. And then there are properties, for example, like not waterproof ink, in order for them to scribble down. What do you call that one? They use fountain pen to draw, and then they use brush to make it like water brush type of journal or drawing. So they use fountain pen to draw, and then use the watercolor brush to make a wash over it. So it will become like having one instrument with a variety of things. You can't even do that with ballpoint pen, because ballpoint pen the ink are usually quite permanent. Alright, next to that is because I can have one body of a pen and then I have a variety of ink, it makes it somehow earth friendly. Okay, earth friendly as in you can make it okay, because I only have one, some of us may have one or two pen, and because fountain pen is a pen that is reusable, means that we don't throw away our pen after the end of life of the ink. For example, if you can notice that this tip is actually crooked. When it's crooked, once it's finished, I'll probably throw the pen away, and then it will be mounting more and more plastic and trash into the trash yard. Whereas fountain pen, as my previous point, connected to my previous point, it will be like you can hand it down, it is a collection, and then you use it over and over again by refilling the ink. I mean, after you wash it and you fill it. So because it is earth friendly, means that I can use it again and again. There will be some maintenance going on. So the not so good part means that I need to do some maintenance. Things that need to be maintained are usually made to be last longer, like your aircon. Nobody actually use aircon, for example, for one use. You have to do your maintenance, right? There are pens that cost more than an aircon. Just because if you go and see, there are people who collect pen. The cost of having a pen is more than you buy a 1.5 horsepower of aircon. Alright, so there are parts of the pen that you need to take apart and then wash it, dry it, and then use it again. So while in the process of, let's say that you're already finished with washing it up and it's already dry, you want to fill the ink. So when you fill the ink, things like this may happen, which is what we call as inky fingers. So when inky fingers happen, not many of us like it. I mean, those who grew up with ballpoint pen, you don't get inky finger all the time. But fountain pen user knows that if you want to fill it, means that there will be chances that the ink will get onto your fingers. So we get inky fingers. And then speaking of pens and ink, it is not a cheap hobby. Okay, it is not a cheap hobby. You can buy a cheaper, inexpensive fountain pen. For example, if you go to Pen Gallery, most of Malaysian fountain pen user will know. You will know that this is over 100 ringgit. Over 100 ringgit for some of us is almost like 1 week worth of lunch money, lunch allowances, if you will. Okay, for some of us, that 100 ringgit is not a small amount for some of us. But for some of us who uses fountain pen, we know that 100 ringgit for example, this twist bee is not expensive. It is quite considered as affordable compared to getting a gel pen or maybe mechanical pencil. But this mechanical pencil is not cheap either. Okay, so not only are the pen quite inexpensive or some sorts of money, even certain ink is right? Quite expensive. For example, the one that I have in front of you is almost 100 ringgit. Of course, you can buy a cheaper one. For example, from Diamine, you can get it around 20 ringgit. But some people cannot justify why would an ink be such an expensive money to spend. Okay, just like anything luxury, some people may want to buy for the brand, and then there are brand that who sells the product expensively, but it's just so. Okay, so it comes with an experience that you will like which company, and not every company sold in some places in the earth. So there are pens ink that it is not available in Malaysia. You do need to buy from overseas. So that will be for the ink part. And of course, as we all know, fountain pen are not to be used for all situations. Okay, there are times where we need to use fountain pen for different situation. For example, just a normal writing. Okay, normal writing, or you want to write it in office work where you can control the type of paper. Now, of course, paper is another part of the related to fountain pen. Okay, so there are times when fountain pen can be used. There are times when fountain pen is not suitable. For example, if you want to sign off paper that is like photo paper type of paper, it is glossy, and fountain pen ink are not meant to be used on those type of paper. So most of the time you will use ballpoint, which is more suitable. Even gel pen may not be suitable for that particular usage, right? So it doesn't mean that if you own fountain pen, you don't need to own all the other types of pen. So it is why there are so many types of pen, right? So this is the reason why, for me, okay, my own personal opinion, why I choose fountain pen. So if I go over it again, it is aesthetically pleasing. Means it's colorful, there are variety of it, and because it's aesthetically pleasing, you may do a collection of them. When you start to do a collection, one of these days you may want to pass it down, which you hope that the next generation will pass it down to the following generation. Who knows? And then fountain pen community, they like to keep the tradition of writing alive. We know that we are going to a lot of digital world whereby we tend to type a lot on keyboard. There's not a lot of time that we will write, and then handwriting will be extinct. But handwriting still needed nowadays. Not everything is to be typed on computer, right? So I hope you have enough of 20 odd minutes hearing me rambling why I choose fountain pen. Until then, I will see you in the next episode, and please take care during this time. Bye bye.